I love what the Mets did, and not just because they got a real professional stick behind Pete Alonso. That's the obvious stuff. C-Mac is in. Chris, what the Mets have done is showed adaptability. They had a plan. They went to camp. They wanted to give Vientos a shot. Obviously, what they saw they didn't like. They got their guy at their price. Kind of a masterclass here by the New York Mets going into the season.
Oh, masterclass.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you.
Okay, well,
I like it.
I don't hate it, but let me ask you a question where you say flexibility. I say, what happened to the plan? I mean, they had a plan. It was an all-time great plan. We talked about this plan forever. They were all pleased with the plan. The fan base bought into the plan. Everybody was big on the plan. What happened to the plan? Now, where did Vientos at bats come from? You say they're already determined? That we were supposed to get a long look, right? He's going to come in, Stearns. He's going to get a real feel for this organization. He's going to get a glimpse of this young talent because, hey, you got to if you're going to build up an organization. That's what we've been spoon-fed for months. And then you tell me now with a couple of spring training bats under his belt, which, by the way, he has hit 4 home runs, suddenly already we're ready to pivot from the plan. And now the great Evan Roberts, who's a more tapped-in Met fan than anybody else on the planet, is like, the last roster spots between Vientos and Stewart. Now he might not even get a roster spot. So much for the plan. What a great plan.
Well, but here's the thing.
It lasted all of a month.
Listen, I don't know what everybody else was saying. I know what I was saying. That's all I care about.
Right.
And what I was saying was, what the New York Mets can't do going into next season is not have answers.
Right.
So on some level, on every level, I know what you're saying. On some level, I actually kind of agree. Like, this was supposed to be a laboratory for Vientos, for Beatty. Get the answers. They're either in or you move on. However, I actually think it's harder to have a plan and be committed to it and then see something that is so counter to what you need to see happen that you blow it up. The easiest thing to do is sit there and say, well, Vientos, he strikes out all the time. I know he's got a couple of home runs, as you said, but he doesn't look like a professional hitter, in my opinion, and I think in theirs. So for them to say, a week before the start of the season, we gave it a shot, not the guy. We got a chance to get a stud DH. We're going for it. I think that's an impressive move by the Mets, not some wild inconsistencies in their plan.
You see, now because I like the move because I never liked the plan, but the plan was the plan, and now you've diverted from the plan, and you can't tell me Vientos now. You went into this whole thing backed on the idea of seeing these young kids, and now you've backed off of it. Which means one thing, this year matters, bro. Of course it matters. And it should have been like this the whole time. And I'm sorry if I'm not going to take out the pom-poms and wave him for the great Steve Cohen because he finally came to his senses and stopped this ridiculous plan. But, I mean, it's just, to me, you say flexibility. I get it. To me, this was more about the foolishness of the plan from the beginning. The outright, the idea that this year never mattered and we're going to see these kids. Bunch of BS. They saw him for 2 weeks, and now they've decided they can't see him anymore. What a look Vientos got.
Chris, let me ask you this. By the way, 877-337-6666. Let me ask you this. What is less acceptable to a fan base? To have a plan that doesn't seem to be the right plan, or to have a plan, identify that it may have been the wrong plan, and do something about it?
Yeah, I know, but what makes the plan today wrong? Like, that's what I want to know.
I don't think they think Vientos is as good as they thought. They watch him every day. Did King Cohen finally get a price tag? No, Steve. It's Steve.
But Sal tweeted out the picture of the crown and everything.
He can tweet any of the emojis he
wants. I'm assuming that he's still got some pull around here.
I can't control his Twitter account. We do control this half of the room. So the rule has been established. You get Juan Soto, you bust out the crown. You got J.D. Martinez, you're going to get 5-6 more wins. Let's not go nuts.
But that's the point. Was it the plan? Or they finally got to a number they were willing to avoid the plan.
Okay, but even if it's that, why is that a bad thing?
No, it's not that it's necessarily a bad...
They got him 70 cents on the dollar, hit 33 bombs a year ago. It's great,
and I think it vastly improves the team. But now these were questions that had to be asked. This is a one-year deal. This doesn't help the plan at all. We would talk, the plan has been the focus of the offseason. I've been arguing for Montgomery. I could see how that helps this and the plan.
Yeah.
All this does is help this season and take away at bats from a guy you've told me it's important to get a look at. Now you're not going to get a look at him. This move doesn't help the plan. This is a complete deviation from everything else we've heard all offseason, and that's fine. I don't disagree with some of your points, but excuse me if I don't applaud them for their what knack they had to suddenly get out of the plan and their adaptability. To me, it sounds like they got scared of the plan, and Cohen said, well, I mean, that's a number I'm comfortable with.
I love it. I really think. Listen, I've been lukewarm on the Mets all winter. You guys listen to the show. You know that. Me and Sal go tooth and nail over this. And not because I'm a Yankees guy and he's a Mets guy, because genuinely, and he even conceded, it's like, dude, what do you expect out of this team? But think about what's transpired in the last day.
Yeah.
So you finally have real protection for Pete. You've made the lineup. You've lengthened it. It's certainly more cyclical. And I would venture to guess that there's going to be 2 or 3 months when we look back on the 2024 season where J.D. Martinez, in terms of power, OPS, those things, is the absolute best hitter on the Mets, because Lindor's going to have a month or two, probably early, where he's cold. Pete's going to strike out a little bit. Nimble's fairly consistent. But they brought in something that they needed. And then you couple this with the Senga news. Chris, I'm not going nuts here, but because they can't shine the Brave shoes. Philly's better.
Sure.
Dodgers are good, even with the Ohtani stuff, which we'll get back to a little bit later. And Yamamoto looks awful. Giants have a pretty good staff. We love that. But the Mets,
I love that.
The Mets, at least now, and I couldn't say this a week ago.
Yeah.
Going into the season with Diaz, with Senga hopefully on the mend, Severino pitching well, you got some sticks. I mean, at least there's some real optimism. Legitimate optimism.
Well, and that's what makes me laugh about the Met fan today, because, like I said, they were on the plan. They told me over and over again, take hundreds of calls in the overnight. The plan. I don't want J.D. Martinez. He doesn't have a glove. He's going to limit Vientos at bats. We have to find out these answers. Now they signed Vientos, and woo, we're all pumped for the season. And rightfully so. They should be more pumped for the season because it helps them. But here's the question. I don't think they're ready yet. This is, if you're going to deviate from the plan, the great Steve Cohen, I won't call him King Cohen,
thank God. And why is he great?
Well, again, I'm throwing superlatives. Well, it's something about sitting in this chair during this.
What the hell's he done?
I'm just trying to, I'm trying to portray it as the way he's been portrayed by fans. I know it is. You're going back at me. It's clearly tongue-in-cheek. You should know tongue-in-cheek.
Why is your face red already?
Because I was walking out in the cold, and I typically don't walk out in the cold.
You've been in the studio for an hour.
The lights are bright in here.
Yeah.
But
that's what happens when you get out from.
Well, because I can't say the word great without being attacked. I'm trying to figure out.
Go for it, brother. Go for it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No need to apologize.
Go for it.
All right, so the great Steve Cohen has once said, he's once been quoted as,
yes,
if I'm going to go over the luxury tax, why go over it a little bit? I'm going to blow right past it. So here we are. If we are willing to deviate from the plan, and clearly this is a deviation. You want to call it a pivot, we can call it whatever we want.
What's the difference? It's the same thing.
It's a deviation. It's a deviation from the
it's
plan.
A pivot.
Well, pivot.
Come on, man.
It's a straight-up deviation.
Thing.
No, it's not. It's not.
Well,
it's not.
disagree.
A pivot from the plan is the plan wasn't working. This is throwing the plan out, and that's fine. You can't tell me Vientos isn't going to hit, or you know anything more about Vientos. That's not what the Mets have been telling us for weeks. We wanted to get a look at this guy. This is a straight deviation from the plan. It's not a pivot where Vientos went down. Vientos is still there hitting 4 home runs, being the same guy he's always been. We were going to get a look at him. This is a straight deviation from the plan. So if you're going to deviate on a 1-year deal for a bat that I agree with you makes them a far better team, why stop now? Why stop now? They still need the Senga. Good news, great. You just told me you've already made a decision on Vientos in spring training. Now all of a sudden the same thing. We're going to continue that thought process, and Severino's going to have this phenomenal year because he's had a great spring. The guy can't stay healthy. They need another starting pitcher.
And by the way,
they need another starting pitcher. Don't just stop here. Go.
I think Severino's going to be good, not because he's had a good spring, but because he's got electric stuff that he was tipping off a year ago. Because the radar gun never went down.
Right.
The usage rate never went down. The reliance on certain, his stuff was there. Like, if he was throwing 93, like if there was a discernible dip in velo, like Rodon a year ago in the spring, it's different. He was always cranking 97.8 miles per hour. If you know it's coming, you can smash it.
Well, but do you think the Yankees are stupid?
Yes, with certain things.
The Yankees are okay. The Yankees are stupid.
The Yankees are beyond reproach.
No,
stop.
Of course not.
I thought I was a Yankee homer. The Yankees do nothing wrong.
No, of course not.
Come on, Chris.
But my point is, this has been a talking point for forever. You make it sound like it's an easy fix. Stop tipping your pitches. The Yankees have probably we're talking to him the entire second half of the season.
We don't know that.
Oh,
we don't know that.
See this? Okay, well, you think they're stupid. I don't think they're stupid.
I just don't think they're as brilliant and as flawless as you do, evidently.
But from your chair, you can see a guy throwing 99 miles an hour. He wasn't throwing 93 last year. He was throwing 99 last year.
I understand, but if you're doing something that alerts the team that it's coming, it doesn't matter if you're throwing 109.
But what I'm saying is you make it sound like it's easy fix.
It is.
Okay. Then why wasn't it fixed last year?
Well, maybe because the Yankees aren't good at everything. That's why.
Okay. So the Mets have the market cornered on how to fix tipping a pitcher. Maybe he falls into bad habits. Maybe he's
that's
predictable.
Possible. Listen,
maybe it'll
the
be
answer,
still an issue.
And
but
by the way, Chris, maybe the answer is somewhere in between. But the bottom line is this: you wake up today, a week before spring training, you got your number 5 hitter, you got somebody to get Alonso's back, you got a puncher's chance to do stuff. This team, 3 weeks ago, in all sincerity, I was lamenting even watching this team past April because I thought they would be bad. And I don't think that now. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be right.
Right.
It means they got a chance to be interesting, which at this point we will take. 877-337-6666. BT and Sal. C-Mac is in the house today. We're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Friends of Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Okay.
Did you two think I was sitting this one out? The King is back! Season back on! No way, BT, I'm letting you two Yankee homers sit there on a day where we should be celebrating the King! King Cohen getting a DH! Finally! We have a season to be excited for! Yes! All bow down to the King! King Cohen!
Yep. They could have signed the 7th bullpen arm, and Sal would have still played the music just to get away from boxing up his house and get away from his family today.
Not even my wife is gonna stop me today. Hey, honey, you go to Lowe's, you get the boxes. I got a deal with BT and C-Mac about the King. JD Martinez, it happened.
Yeah.
I don't even believe it. Look what a brilliant move by the King, waiting this out. $4.5 million deferred money. They get a guy finally. This is a real hitter. 33 homers, over 100 ribbies. Vientos, see you later. Back to the minors. Met season back on, baby.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sal, you should be pumped, man. Like I feel it. We can hear it. Obviously, I don't think you're wrong. There's something to be enthused about. I'm with you.
I'm excited. I'm excited now.
But you were just as excited about the plan. That's my only point. You guys were just as excited about the plan. Over and over again, how smart Cohen is. You got to get a look at these guys. We're going to build through the farm system. We're going to have an idea about these guys. You can't continue to ask these questions. JD Martinez locks up the DH spot. I want to be able to use that for Alonso. I want to be able to use that for Alvarez. I have a bunch of different stuff I could use that spot for. It doesn't make sense. He doesn't have a glove. And then today it's, just as you said, Cohen is back.
I was accepting of the plan. I didn't like it, but I was actually, you know what I did? I did like the Mets did. I lowered my expectations. I didn't think they were going to get him. Right. I believed they were going to go into the season with Vientos, who I've been saying for months is crap. I don't want to watch Mark Vientos. I made fun of that lineup yesterday. McNeil hitting 4th. What are you kidding me? Vientos, Beatty, Bader, automatic outs. You put Martinez in there. And for the record, let me be clear. I don't even love JD Martinez because I worry about him being older and falling off the cliff eventually. However, this is a low-risk move. It is a high reward. It's not like he's 3 years removed from a big season. Last year he had a big season. It's exactly what they need. And even if it doesn't work out, it still gets Met fans excited. Less than a week from opening day. We're back on, baby. Let's go, Mets. Hey, BT, play that song, baby. Yeah. Play that song.
Yep.
Have a good show, guys.
No, Sal, hold on. Before we let you go, so, you broke the rule, which is a problem.
He's a king, BT. Acting like a king.
Sal.
I would have been in full gear today if I were there, crown and all.
Sal, you broke the rule.
Oh, BT, this is just the beginning, baby. Hey, maybe Hal will follow suit. Hey, Hal, wake up. Go get Jordan Montgomery. You need a pitcher. Steve Cohen doesn't care about the tax record.
Get him out of here. Now he starts morphing into his Yankee stuff. Now we don't need to deal with him. I'll deal with him on Tuesday when he gets back. All right, Sal, good luck boxing up. How about that? Go to Lowe's and get your own boxes. I got a DH. Good stuff. 877-337-6666. Gabe is in Wayne, BT and Sal. Chris C-Mac is in for Sal. What's going on, Gabe?
Thanks for taking the call, guys. That's a
What's
tough
up,
call
Gabe?
to follow.
Sal.
So
Lunatic.
listen, C-Mac,
Yes.
I totally disagree, man. I'm real sorry. But listen, as a Yankees fan, I'm jealous of what the Mets just did.
Oh,
I don't care if it's a
stop.
deviation from.
What?
Listen.
Jealous.
I don't care if it's a deviation from the plan.
You're jealous of cheerleaders in college night?
I don't care what you call it. I could care less. But listen, At the end of the day, the Yankees had a plan, right? The Yankees had a plan. Garrett Cole's going to be our ace, and then we're going to bring in Rodon. He's going to have a better year. Stroman for reinforcements, blah, 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 blah. Cole goes down. Pivot. I don't care what the plan was from Jump Street. Pivot.
Yeah, but you just said Cole went down. Cole went down. Where is the point? Where is the point for the Mets where Cole went down and they were forced to pivot?
Vientos wasn't hitting the way they wanted it to.
It's spring training. Get out of here. It's spring training. You're saying they went into the season with the plan. And first of all, I'm sorry, I can't take it. I can't take jealous of J.D. Martinez at $4 million. You're jealous? J.D. Martinez would be the 6th best hitter on the Yankees. Stop it. Now, the plan is to see Vientos and Beatty and see what you have there. I was always against the plan. I want to make sure everyone hears it because I've been saying it every single night, 5 nights a week. I hated the plan. I always despised the plan. This year matters, bro. It comes out of my mouth 10 times a show. I love the move, but I'm still I'm bothered by the Sals of the world who will now tell me what a great job they did getting a player that nobody else in Major League Baseball wanted, that his market collapsed all the way down to $4 million and will pay it in 10 years. And now we're all going to throw the parade when you've been telling me for weeks that this plan of watching these two kids and figuring out the what you have with your young players is important. Now today we're having King Cohen and he would have come in full uniform and I'm supposed to be jealous as a Yankee fan?
Well, jealousy is the absolute.
This is what I'm talking about. It's the bare minimum they should have done to give this team an opportunity.
I do agree with that.
So I'm not going to go crazy that Steve Cohen had this unbelievable pivot to somehow change the narrative of the franchise when the narrative was dumb from the beginning, and when it was dumb, the fans were telling me, no, it's not dumb. It makes a ton of sense. Now today, it's, oh, thank God they pivoted. That's my point. That's my point.
So, Chris, your kids need sneakers. You're walking by, well, I mean, people don't really shop this way anymore, but like the old days, you walk by the store window, Daddy, I love those Jordans, right? Daddy, I love those whatevers. And they're $120. I can't afford it, but it's a little tight, or, you didn't do well in school. You got to earn it. Whatever the reason, you don't get them. And then, I don't know, a month and a half later, you get them for $70.
Right.
Daddy do okay?
Oh, Daddy did great.
Okay, that's what just happened with the Mets.
Yeah, I understand that.
Now, I'm not saying that he's Air Jordans, but
I understand
he's certainly
that.
not, kids
but,
with holes in
if
them,
I had these,
and he got them cheap.
Yeah, but if I went out and had these two young sneakers I made, these two little sneakers I made with my own hands, and I cobbled them myself, and I was ready to say, hey, kids, we're going to find out whether I can make shoes or not, then it's not such a great deal when I suddenly go buy the Jordans.
Unless the shoes that you made proved to be awful, and you knew you had to pivot.
He hasn't even worn them yet. BT, there are many things you can take me on. I just gave you an in with the Yankee homer. There's many things you could take me on.
Okay.
You cannot take me on my analogies, okay? You're going to lose the analogy fight because I am terrific at it. Now, I'm just saying...
First of all, I won't lose any fight.
Yes, you
number
will.
one.
You will lose the analogy fight.
That's number one.
Yes, you will.
I certainly won't lose it on my show.
I turned that shoe argument right on your head. I used the word cobble and everything. It's over.
How about we do an analogy test here? Honestly, last time you sang for us, we'll do an analogy test
I'm
here.
only joking. The last time I was in with Sal, I gave a couple analogies, and he said, you're just like BT. He loves them,
is that
too.
What he said?
Yeah, so.
Did he say who's better, though?
No, that's why I was ready to pick a fight.
Gotcha. All right, so listen.
But yes, no, I understand. Again, I want to make sure I'm clear.
I know that you know that JD can hit. You just don't love
it. Vastly improves their team. They've been doing it forever. But just don't tell me this isn't a pivot. This is a deviation, and it's a welcome deviation. But I'm wondering, like you are, why is the great Steve Cohen the great Steve Cohen? Why is Sal deciding to call him the king?
Because he's out of his mind and he's desperate. That's why.
I mean, what has he done? And it's just what bothers me is the Met fans who tell me I'm jealous or whatever. They got Juan Soto, you got J.D. Martinez, and I'm jealous. But like the point is, like nothing, if he doesn't spend money and he doesn't make moves and he trusts the youth, well, that's a great plan and that's a leader and that's what you have to be when you own a team. You didn't become a billionaire by making bad deals. It's a smart move. Then he goes out and he gets the DH and totally throws that plan out the window. Brilliant. He pivoted. He did exactly what the team has to do. I'm just wondering which way I should focus as the Met fan. And thankfully, for the first time all spring, I can focus on this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's the encouraging stuff. I think you focus on a few more wins. That's why Met fans, I got you back today. You should be fired up. You really should be. 877-337-6666. BT and Sal with C-Mac.